Welcome back. Keeping your cow-calf herd healthy and profitable requires constant vigilance, as well as up-to-date information on sexually transmitted cattle disease. Cattleman to Cattleman reporter Brian Baxter has this report from Florida.
If a cattle disease is uncommon in your part of the country, it doesn't mean it will never affect your herd. Producers in more states are finding trichomoniasis.
Trichomoniasis is a disease that's been around for quite a number of years in many of the western states, here in Florida. But here of late we've had a sudden surge in cases in a lot of other states. Texas, the Dakotas, Nebraska, we've had a pretty significant surge in those states and quite a few others as well. This organism, Trichomoniasis fetus, is a protozoa that lives on the reproductive tract of the male, and this asymptomatic carrier bull spreads the organism to vulnerable females. The economic impact from trichomoniasis can be pretty significant. First off, you're going to see a reduced calf crop, so you got less calf crops to sell. If you've got positive tested bulls, they need to be sold for slaughter only, and that's a pretty significant economic loss as well. Open cows, the cull open cows should be sold as well, so that's a significant setback. If they're not sold, they should at least be maintained as a separate breeding herd. Another significant loss is, even if you don't end up with a lot of open cows, you may have cows that are bred late in the breeding season as they've cleared themselves of the trichomonas organisms, and you'll have those cows getting bred in subsequent breeding cycles, and then you'll have that strung out calf crop.
Trichomoniasis in Florida has been a major problem for us for the last 10 or 15 years. We've been testing most of these herds for that length of time, and we've gone from maybe a 25% infection rate to 0 or maybe 3 to 5%, but it takes time. It's a serious venereal disease that's transmitted through breeding, and makes a big difference in profitability of your calves.
To determine if trichomoniasis is in your herd, your veterinarian should test all bulls when performing annual breeding soundness exams.
The first two things that a producer sees in a herd with trich is, one, you see a lot of repeat breeders, and two, at preg testing time, we find a lot of open cows or a lot of late calving cows. I think that's a very good indicator of trich in a beef herd. It's a simple process of taking preputial samples through pipettes and aspiration, inoculating it into a modified diamond media, sending it to the lab and having it read daily for 5 days.
It can be managed. It's not easy, but it can be done from the standpoint of implementing some management strategies. First and foremost, like we've already mentioned, is you test the bulls and remove those positive bulls. He is the main carrier, although some rare cases of the female being the carrier does exist, but the bull is the #1 source of the organism. Producers should use a younger bull battery. The older bulls harbor more of the Trichomonas organisms in their reproductive tract, so utilizing a younger bull battery is of some help. Also, a person should not use leased or borrowed bulls, since that could perpetuate the disease pretty dramatically. Another control measure is utilizing TrichGuard vaccination to improve the immune status of the cow herd. The TrichGuard vaccine is a very effective vaccine, especially if the management practices that we have talked about are implemented as well. TrichGuard or TrichGuard Vibrio lepto combination should be incorporated into a pre-breeding vaccination program. The label recommendations are to have, the first year, have 2 doses of vaccine about 2 to 4 weeks apart, and have that second dose be about 4 weeks prior to the breeding season. In subsequent years, an annual revaccination would be recommended.
If you remember 4 key points, keeping trichomoniasis out of your herd should be no problem.
I think the most important steps we take as producers and veterinarians in South Central Florida to control trich in beef cattle is number 1, testing, number 2, culling, number 3, vaccination, and vaccination protocol includes using trich, Vibrio lepto, or straight trich guard by itself. And then the 4th thing is maintaining a young bull herd and a young cow herd.
I'm Brian Baxter reporting.
For more information on treating trichomoniasis, visit our website at cattlemantocattleman.org.